Alright, we are going to go ahead and get started today. Our class is going to be focused on arm and shoulder strength. So as we begin, we're finding a resting seated position. That's whatever that looks like for you today. Grounding those seat bones into the floor. Allow the hands to rest gently on the knees. Now that can be face down if we're looking for something within the self today, or face up as a sign of receiving. Wherever we are, and all together, allowing the eyes to shut softly, taking a deep breath, and with the exhale, allowing the shoulders to fall away from the ears. Taking a couple moments to get acclimated with our breathing. Allowing the chest to rise and fall with each breath. All together, inhale through the nostrils for a count of 4, followed by an open mouth exhale for a count of 5 or 6, as we slow down the breathing and the heart rate, allowing a softness to come over the entire body, allowing ourselves to become acclimated with this space. Breathe in through the nose for a count of 4, followed by open mouth exhale for a count of 5 or 6, isolating all of our focus onto the breath. I encourage us to let go of any thoughts or emotions, things to do that exist outside of this space so we can be fully present in our practice today, so we can be fully present for each and every movement, so we can be here for ourselves. Breathe. All together on our next exhalation, we're allowing our chin to make its way down towards our chest so the cervical spine is long. Shaking the head no to release any tension in the neck here. And then finding stillness all together as we inhale, guide right ear to right shoulder, getting a nice extension in the left side of the neck. Allowing that left palm to meet the ground beside us if it feels good. We can walk it away from us for a deeper extension here from the fingertips through the full length of the arm, all the way up into the jaw. Just breathing. If we'd like, gently moving the chin down and back up, just exploring the micro muscles in the neck, perhaps noticing a spot that needs a little more of our attention because it's holding a little more tension than the rest, and staying right there, breathing into this space and imagining what it could look like if we could guide the breath to that area. And as we exhale, chin meets chest, bring the left hand in. Inhale, left ear comes to left shoulder, nice extension in the right side of the neck. If we'd like, placing the right hand beside us, we can inch it away for a deeper extension here. And again, perhaps allowing the chin to move down and back up, just exploring those micro muscles in the neck. Breathing. Imagining what it could look like if we could guide the breath toward the area that needs a little more of our attention. Allowing it to expand with the chest. All together, exhale, chin meets chest one more time. Right ear comes to right shoulder. Placing the left hand beside us, perhaps walking it away from us for that deeper extension. If we'd like, we're lifting the left hand off the ground and seeing the way that shifts the position and the stretch, reaching through even the fingertips. And as we exhale, chin meets chest, bring the left hand in. Inhale, left ear comes to left shoulder last time. If we'd like, placing the right hand beside us, inching it away for that deeper extension. Otherwise, you can lift that right hand from the ground, exploring the way that shifts the position, reach through the fingertips. Breathe. And all together, allow the chin to meet chest, bring the right hand in, interlacing the fingertips behind the head, allowing the elbows to be soft as we inhale, lifting up the chin, allowing those elbows to come out and away from each other. Big deep breath in, open up those shoulder blades. And as we exhale, softly allowing the chin to make its way down towards the chest, soften those elbows. Inhale, open up, not putting too much pressure on the back of the head with our hands here, just using it as a little support, guiding the stretch. Exhale, soften, allow the chin to rest along with the elbows. Inhale, open up, elbows come out and away, lift through the chest. Last time, exhale, soft, elbows relax. Inhale, open up nice and wide, lifting through the crown of the head, perhaps even lifting the chin. All together, reaching the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand meets the ground, extend through the left side. Nice stretch in the side body, warming up every part of our spine before we get into the bulk of our practice today. Inhale, center, exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Left hand meets the floor, extend through the right, shifting the gaze as we need to. Keeping that pelvis rooted on the mat. Inhale, come right back to center. Exhale, lower the chest down, walk the hands forward. Nice subtle stretch in the low back, as well as the hips. Breathing. Spine is long, neck is relaxed. And as we inhale, lift through the chest, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, arms come out and down with complete control. Beautiful. Allowing our feet to come to the outer edges of the mat, placing the hands behind the back, fingertips facing toward our bottom. But if that's really uncomfortable, we can face the fingertips out towards the side. Or wherever we are, as we inhale, reach through the chest, lift the chin, push away from the floor with the hands, find a nice arch in the spine. And on the exhale, we're bringing the hands in between the legs here, allowing the back to round out and the neck to soften. Inhale, open up. Place the hands behind the back, reach through the chest and the chin. Take in air. And as we exhale, bringing those hands in between the legs, allow the back to soften fully, chin to relax. 2 more times. Inhale, open up. Place those hands on the ground. Lift through the chest. And exhale, bring the hands in. Round out the back. Inhale, open up. Round those hands behind the back. Shine that chest forward. And exhale, nice and soft. Round it out. Bring those hands in between the legs. Everything softens. And then our next inhalation, placing those hands behind the back again, allowing the feet to come in just so they're hip width apart. We don't want them touching, but we don't want them all the way on the outer edges of the mat. All together, press those hands into the floor. Inhale, lift those hips up to the sky for tabletop. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. Holding here, engaging the core and those glute muscles to get the hips up. Making sure even the fingertips are pressed into the mat for support on the wrist. As we exhale, we're not letting those hips meet the ground. Push the legs out, send the hips back. Our pelvis is lifted from the floor as our legs are at extension. All together, inhale, push up, tabletop, lifting those hips up to the sky. Holding here. 2 more times. Exhale, sink those hips down, not all the way to the ground. Extend the legs out, subtle lift from the floor here. Inhale, push right back up to tabletop. Gaze is towards the ceiling. Last time, exhale, sink those hips down, extend the legs straight out, hover. And inhale, push through those hips, gaze is up towards the sky. All together, as we exhale, we can release the hips down to the ground, making our way onto our hands and knees. Taking our time as we do so, allow those wrists to become underneath the shoulder blades, knees are hip width apart. All together, coming down onto our forearms. And then walking the hands forward, allowing that chest to open up. Take a deep breath, allow that forehead to come down towards the mat. The spine is nice and long for puppy pose. Allow those hips to be as lifted as they can be. If we'd like a deepening here, walking those hands out further, allowing that stretch in the spine to lengthen. If this feels a little intense, feel free to walk the hands in, whatever we need. Holding here, breathing. And all together, as we inhale, we're just lifting through the head, allowing the forearms to rest on the mat fully, elbows underneath the shoulder blades, step the feet back, hips in line with the shoulders for plank pose. Holding here, engaging those glute muscles and the core so our butt isn't sticking out as much as we can. Breathing here. Pushing through those shoulder blades to give ourselves extra support. The core isn't doing all the work. We're pressing through the heels, engaging every single part of our body here. Holding. All together, coming onto the palms of the hands, allowing them to be right underneath the shoulder blades for a high plank. Again, hips are in line with the shoulder blades. We're pressing through the heels and the shoulders. Nice straight lines. Hold here. All together, send the hips up and diagonally back as we walk the feet in for down dog. Push through the shoulder blades, gazes towards the toes. Take a deep breath here. All together, on our next exhalation, we're allowing the forearms to come down onto the mat, keeping those hips high for dolphin pose. And holding here. Again, press through those shoulder blades, allowing the gaze to be straight towards these toes. Hold. Making sure you're breathing. All together, lift those elbows off the ground. Press only through the hands. Down dog. Hold. And as we exhale, elbows meet the ground one by one. Press through the shoulder blades for dolphin. Making sure we're breathing. All together, last time, come off the elbows, adjust the hands as we need to. Press through the shoulder blades, down dog. Breathe. And all together, bending into the elbows, stack those shoulders. Hips are high, dolphin. Breathe. Crossing through the shoulders, pressing those heels down, distributing the weight. And all together, releasing the knees down to the ground. Send the hips all the way down and back. Chest is low. Arms are reaching forward. Child's pose. forehead meets the mat, nice and soft here. Catch our breath. Allow the hands, the wrists, and the arms to be soft. And on our next inhalation, we're coming back into a tabletop position. Flipping the back toes, guide those hips up, diagonally back into downward facing dog pose. A reminder that we could have a slight bend in the knees here or in our dolphin pose if we have really tight hamstrings. Adjusting these positions to our specific body. Breathe. All together, allowing those shoulders to come over the wrists, hips to be in line with the shoulder blades, high plank. Pressing through the heels, our body's working towards a nice straight line. Hold. All together, as we exhale, releasing the knees to the ground, bending into the elbows just halfway, keeping them nice and close to the chest. Pausing in our chaturanga, or modified chaturanga. All together, send the chest all the way down. Flip the toes, so we're pressing into the tops of those feet as we press through the hands. Lift the chest, hips stay low, upward facing dog. Engaging those quadriceps and the knees, working to get those hips off the ground. Being mindful of our low back here. Gaze is straight ahead, crown of the head is high. All together, flip the back toes, guide the hips up, diagonally back, downward facing dog. Breathe. All together, shift those shoulders so they're over the wrist, hips in line with shoulder blades. Press through the heels, high plank. Hold. All together, halfway chaturanga down. Keep the elbows in as we lower down, otherwise releasing those knees. Extra support for the arms. Hold. All together, send the chest all the way down. Inhale, press through the hands, hips stay low, upward facing dog. Engaging those quads to get them off the mat if we can. Making sure even the fingertips are engaged. We don't want all the weight in our wrists here. All together, flip the back toes, guide those hips up, diagonally back, downward facing dog. Hold. Breathe. Last time, on our next exhale, shifting those shoulders over wrists, high plank, hips in line with the shoulder blades, pressing through the heels. Breathe. All together, halfway chaturanga down. Either we're releasing the knees, but wherever we're at, keep those elbows close. All together, send the chest all the way down to the ground. Just as the transition, press through the hands. Chest rises, hips stay low, upward facing dog. Breathe. All together, flip the back toes, guide the hips up, diagonally back into downward facing dog, and hold. Gaze is towards the toes, making sure we're breathing. All together, coming down onto the forearms with control. Press through those shoulder blades for dolphin. Again, remember, slight bend in the knees if our hamstrings are feeling a little tight. The goal is to get those hips high. All together, come off those elbows, press into the hands and through those shoulder blades, down dog. Breathe. And all together, come down onto the forearms, one by one. Press through those shoulder blades, dolphin pose. Breathe. Gaze is towards the toes. Last time, come up, down dog, pressing into the palms of the hands. Hips are high. And all together, as we exhale, release the forearms down, press through the shoulders, dolphin. Hold. And all together, bending into the knees. Send those hips all the way down and back. Chest is low. Child's pose. Release everything. Allow these hands to be soft. The wrists to be completely relaxed. Taking this time to catch our breath. Release tension from the body. Breathe. And all together, coming right back up to a tabletop position. Flipping the back toes, guiding those hips up, diagonally back, downward facing dog. Hold. All together, shift the shoulders over the wrist for high plank. Hips are in line with the shoulder blades here, engaging those glute muscles and the core. Working our body towards a nice straight line, reaching through the crown of the head. All together, halfway chaturanga down, or release the knees, keep the elbows in close, lower the chest halfway down. And all together, reach the chest all the way down onto the ground. Allowing our forearms to meet the mat, elbows to be underneath those shoulder blades, finding ourselves in Sphinx pose. Using these forearms to get a nice opening in the chest. Breathe. Hips are resting on the mat. All together, as we exhale, just looking over the right shoulder blade. Inhale, center. Exhale, look over left shoulder. Inhale, right back to center. Hold. All together, releasing the chest all the way down onto the ground, allowing our arms to come out to our side. Right cheek meets the mat. Breathe. As we inhale, lifting that left foot off the ground, engaging the left glute muscle to do so. All together, allowing that left foot to come over the right side body in a twist, opening up that right shoulder blade, as well as getting a nice elongation in the spine. As we inhale, come right back to center, switch cheeks. Full body weight resting on the mat. And as we inhale, lift that right foot off the ground, engaging the right glute muscle to do so. All together, sending that right foot behind the left side body in a twist. Open up that left shoulder blade. And inhale, come right back to center. That gaze is nice and soft. All together, allowing the forearms to come underneath the shoulder blades, passing the hands into the ground. Chest is nice and broad for Sphinx pose. Breathing here. As we exhale, look over right side body. Inhale, center. Exhale, look over left. Inhale, right back to center for Sphinx pose. All together, placing the hands underneath the shoulder blades, finding some nice grounding in the palms. Inhale, lift through the chest, keeping those hips low, engaging the quadriceps, tops of the feet pressed into the ground, upward facing dog. Hold. All together, flip the back toes, guide the hips up, diagonally back, downward facing dog. Hold. Breathing here. All together, coming down onto the forearms, elbows underneath shoulders, dolphin pose. Belly button is sucked in towards the spine, allowing there to be some nice space between the upper and lower body. Breathe. All together, come off those elbows, press through the shoulder blades, down dog. Hands are rooted into the mat, heels are working their way down towards the floor. Breathe. 2 more times, allow those elbows to meet the ground, right underneath shoulder blades. Dolphin pose. Breathe. All together, come off the elbows, press through the hands and the shoulders, down dog. Last time, elbows come down, resting our entire body on those forearms and the feet. Hips are high. Dolphin pose. Belly button's plugged into the spine. And all together, release the knees. Send the hips all the way down and back for child's pose. Release the forehead to the mat. Just catching our breath, allowing these hands and the wrists to be completely soft. Giving ourselves a little break. All together, as we inhale, come right back to a tabletop position. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Flipping the back toes, guide those hips up, diagonally back into downward facing dog. Hold. All together, send those shoulders over the wrists. Step the feet back so the hips are in line with the shoulder blades. High plank. The core is engaged, so are the glute muscles. Working our body towards a nice straight line. Hold. Making sure we're breathing. As we exhale, half chaturanga down, hold. And all together, send the chest all the way down. Press through the hands, hips stay low. Upward facing dog. Engaging those quadriceps to get those hips off the ground. All together, flip the back toes, guide the hips up, diagonally back, downward facing dog. Breathe. Passing through the shoulders, gazes towards the feet. All together, shifting those shoulders over wrist, high plank, hips in line with the shoulder blades, passing through the heels. Nice straight line through the crown of the head. Hold. All together, as we exhale, halfway, chaturanga down. Elbows stay close to the chest. And releasing that chest all the way down to the ground. Just as a transition, press through the hands, hips stay low, upward facing dog. Breathing. All together, flip the back toes, guide the hips up, diagonally back, downward facing dog. Breathe. As we exhale, shifting those shoulders over wrists, high plank, hips are in line with the shoulder blades, nice straight line through the crown of the head and those heels, making sure those glute muscles are engaged. Hold. Last one, either we release the knees to the ground or keep them up, halfway chaturanga down. Keep those elbows into the chest. All together, release the chest all the way down. Inhale, press through the hands, hips stay low, pressing into the tops of those feet as support, engaging the quads, upward facing dog. Breathing. All together, flip the back toes, guide the hips up, diagonally back, downward facing dog pose, and breathe. All together, send the shoulders over wrists, high plank, hold. On our next exhale, allowing the forearms to come down onto the mat for plank pose. Those elbows are underneath the shoulder blades, hips in line with the shoulders, core and those glute muscles are engaged. Breathe. All together, release the knees, allow the hips to be high as we walk the hands forward, open up the chest for puppy pose. The spine is long. Breathe, and with each exhale, perhaps noticing the shoulders open up even more. Foreheads resting on the mat. All together, send the hips down, allowing that chest to stay low for child's pose. If we'd like, bringing both arms down to our sides, allowing that back to round out over the legs, giving our shoulders a nice stretch, allowing ourselves to be small as we can here. Breathing. All together, bringing those hands right back to the ground, allowing ourselves to meet in a tabletop position. Hands are underneath the shoulder blades. All together, flip the back toes, guide those hips up and diagonally back into downward facing dog pose, holding here. All together, allow the right hand to come inward across the body towards this left shin or the left ankle. Hold. Pressing through the feet and the left hand. All together, release the right hand to the floor. Allow that left hand to come inward towards the body, reaching towards the right shin or the right ankle. Hold. Exhale, release the left hand. One more time, reach the right hand in towards the body. Reaches across towards left shin or left ankle. Release the right, last time. Bringing that left hand inward towards the body, across towards the right shin. Holding here. All together, release the left hand, finding ourselves in down dog. Perhaps noticing a nice deeper opening between the shoulder blades here. As we inhale, draw the right heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Hold. As we exhale, bring the right knee in towards the chest. Shoulders shift over wrist. All together, place the right foot on the outer side of the left side of the mat, keeping that left foot rooted on the floor. Inhale, reach the left arm up to the sky, pressing that right hand into the mat. Hold. As we exhale, release the left hand, step the right foot back towards the back of the mat, lift those hips high, downward facing dog. And as we inhale, allow that left heel to reach up towards the sky, three-legged dog. Hold. Pressing through those shoulder blades. As we exhale, bring the left knee in towards the chest. Hold, shoulders shift over wrist. All together, send that left foot to the outside of the right side of the mat, allowing that right foot to turn out. Left hand stays planted on the ground. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Open up the chest here. Using that left foot and the left hand as support. Right foot's planted in the mat. Hold. All together, release that right hand to the floor. Step the left foot back. Hips are high. Down dog. Hold. All together, allow that left hand to come in towards the body, towards that right shin. Balancing on the right hand. All together, release the left hand. Right hand comes in, across the body, towards left shin. Hold. Last time, allow that left hand to come in, across the body, towards right shin. Hold. Left hand meets the floor. Bring the right hand in, across the body, towards left shin. Holding here, making sure we're breathing. And all together, release the right hand to the floor. Hips are high, down dog. As we inhale, send the right heel up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Hold. As we exhale, bring that right foot in towards the chest, shoulders shift over wrist. Just as a transition, allow that right foot to come to the outside of the left side of the mat. Right hand stays planted on the floor. As we open up the chest, reach the left hand up to the sky. Hold. All together, release the left hand to the floor. Step the right foot back, hips high, down dog. All together. together as we inhale, send the left heel up to the ceiling. Three-legged dog. Hold. Making sure we're breathing. As we exhale, bring left knee in towards the chest. Shift the shoulders over wrist. Hold. All together, turn that right foot out as we send that left foot to the outer right side of the mat. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Left hand stays planted in the floor. Open up the chest. Breathe. All together, release the right hand. Step the left foot back. Hips high. Down dog. Hold. Breathing here. All together, releasing those knees all the way down onto the mat. Finding ourselves in a tabletop position. Hold. As we inhale, keep the right hand planted on the floor. Draw the left arm up to the sky. Open up the chest. As we exhale, thread that left arm through the space in the right side. Shoulder and cheek meet the mat for threading the needle pose. Breathing here. If we'd like, we can use our right hand as support for the body. Otherwise, we can rock the right hand forward. Open up the shoulder blade. Or if a bind is in our practice, we're guiding the right forearm behind the back. Breathing wherever we are. Pressing the right hand into the floor. All together, come to a tabletop position. Left hand stays planted in the ground as we inhale. Reach the right arm up to the sky. As we exhale, thread that right arm through the space in the left side. Shoulder and cheek meet the mat. We're threading the needle pose. Now, if we'd like, we're using our left hand as support here. Otherwise, we can walk it forward. Open up the shoulder blade. There's a bind is in our practice, guiding that left arm behind the back. Whatever feels good for our body. Breathing. And then our next inhalation, using the strength of our arms to bring us right back to a tabletop position. Just as a transition, we're sending the hips onto the heels for hero's pose, finding the chest lifted. If this feels really uncomfortable on the ankles, feel free to sit on our bottoms. We're only going to be here for a couple moments. But all together, as we inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, right hand meets the floor. Extend through the left side. Breathing here. Inhale, right back up to center. Exhale, rotate over, opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhale, lower both hands down along with the chest. Everything is soft, child's pose. Otherwise, just getting a nice stretch in the low back. As we inhale, rolling the chest up. Draw both hands up to the sky. Interlacing the fingertips and drawing the palms of the hands up towards the sky. Just getting a nice stretch in the backs of those wrists and the forearms. If we'd like, leaning over to the right side, we can bend into the right elbow. Nice deep side stretch here with the palms facing out to the sky. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean over left side, perhaps bending into the left elbow. Nice deep stretch in the shoulder. Inhale, center. Flip the wrist and exhale. Release those arms all the way down to the ground with control. All together, making our way down onto our backs for some cool downs. Before we get into Savasana, or the meditation portion of our practice today, allowing the full length of the spine to rest firmly on the mat. As we inhale, draw both legs in towards the chest, recline child's pose. If we'd like, we're rocking from side to side, massaging the full length of the spine. We have the option to stay right here. Otherwise, grabbing towards the inner soles of the feet, allow the knees to come out and down to our sides for happy baby. You can rock from side to side if that feels good. All together, bringing both knees back in towards the chest. Keeping the right knee in close, send the left heel up to the ceiling. As we exhale, lowering the left leg down to the floor with complete control. Once that left foot meets the floor, we can roll out the right ankle clockwise, counterclockwise. If we'd like, staying right here. Otherwise, we're guiding the right knee over the left side body in a twist. Now we're not forcing or pulling that right knee down to the ground here, allowing there to be space between the floor and our knee if our spine naturally lets us fall that way. And just hanging out here, not forcing the body to be in any positions. Asking our body instead what feels good and what do we need, and doing that. If we'd like, exploring what extending the right leg out feels like, how it shifts the position. Inhale, right back to center. Allow that left leg to come in towards the chest, recline child's pose. Send the right heel up to the sky. And on an exhalation, lowering that right leg down with complete control. Once that right foot meets the floor, we can roll out left ankle clockwise and counterclockwise. We have the option to stay right here, opening up the left hip joint if that feels good. Otherwise, allowing that left knee to come across the right side body in a twist. Again, not forcing or pulling that left knee down to the ground, just allowing it to fall where it does naturally. And holding here. If we'd like, extending the left leg out, just exploring the way that shifts the position. And on our next inhalation, bringing that left knee right back in towards the chest. As we exhale, release the left foot to the ground, finding our body in a full laying down position. All together, reach the arms overhead. As we inhale, just pressing into the toes or pointing the toes, stretching the front of the legs and the top of the feet. And as we exhale, we can release the feet, allowing them to be natural. Inhale, reach through the fingertips, stretching through the shoulder blades and the upper body. And exhale, release the hands nice and soft. On our next inhale, we're pressing through the heels, stretching the backs of the legs as we reach through the fingertips, giving ourselves a full body stretch. And as we exhale, release the feet, allow the arms to come down to our sides, and allow the feet to come wider than hip width apart so they splay out nice and naturally. All together, going through a full scan of the body, releasing any tension from the forehead or between the eyebrows, allowing the eye sockets and the cheekbones to be heavy, removing the tongue from the roof of the mouth so the lips part naturally. Finding a softness in the neck, the collarbone, and the shoulder. Notice the biceps and the triceps, each elbow, the forearm, and the wrist. Notice the palms of the hands and find a softness in each and every fingertip, a release of tension. And then bringing our focus back to the center line of the body. Notice the rib cage, the heart, and the lungs. Notice the stomach and the inner organs. Allow the hips to be weighted, fully supported by the mat beneath us. Notice the quadriceps and the hamstring, each knee, the calves and the shins. Find a softness in each ankle, the tops and the bottoms of the feet, and out each and every toe, a release. Perhaps noticing how the breath and the heart rate have shifted from the bulk of our practice to now. Taking, if not just one moment today, to be fully supported by the mat beneath us, to be fully supported by the ground, so we have to bear no weight for ourselves. Taking, if not just this one moment today, to be completely free of any mental or physical tension. Altogether, taking our time. We have the option to stay in corpse pose for another moment or so. Otherwise, we're rolling over to the right side, allowing the knees to come in nice and close. The chest follows in a fetal position. Just allowing ourselves to be close with the body wherever we are. I'd like us to take this time to send a thank you note to the body and mind that brought us to the mat today, that brought us to this practice. Even if that thank you note is for something as simple as trying today, is taking the step towards movement, nothing more and nothing less than that. Or perhaps that thank you note looks like a compliment we needed to hear today or this week, and giving that compliment to ourselves. And upon sending that thank you note or that compliment, making our way back up to a resting, seated position, bringing our hands to heart center or our third eye. I thank you all for sharing this practice with me, for allowing me to lead you through it, for trusting me. The light and the love within me sees, I bow, and recognize the light and the love within you. And I thank you. Namaste.